Welcome back everyone. I don't know about you guys, but I am still pretty hyped up from that game last night. A double overtime game does not happen very often, and especially not between the caliber of players that were on the court last night. Before we get too far into it though, be sure to check out g2a.com for the best deals in your favorite games, credits, and everything digital entertainment. Check them out in the video description down below. But now getting back to the video. And I mean, say what you want about their records up until this point, but getting 58 minutes of LeBron, Anthony Davis, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green is truly a luxury. It felt like a playoff game out there, and thankfully the Lakers were the ones to come out on top. I can't even imagine how it felt to lose a game like that one, and especially for a team that has now fallen 5 games below 500. Definitely a tough one to swallow for Golden State. I don't think it's time to write them off quite yet, but they're obviously in a pretty tough spot here. On the flip side of that though, the Lakers have now gone 1 game above 500, and they could use a game like this one to build momentum. They might be in the play-in tournament picture unlike Golden State, but they're not quite in the actual playoff picture quite yet. And with them being in the midst of a tough road trip, it would really benefit them to go on a hot streak. And while they may finally be trending in that direction, not saying they have everything figured out quite yet, but I think we can all agree their rotation has looked a lot better lately, with a whole bunch of that coming from D'Angelo Russell and Jared Vanderbilt. D'Lo has played great throughout really the entire month, but now Vanderbilt is tagged along with him, and I think it's a mix of him finally being fully healthy again, and then of course getting the opportunity as well, and we're going to talk about how that opportunity could benefit their entire team. At this point, I think their entire team, or at least a large majority of it, is in favor of bringing back their old starting lineup. Not one from earlier this season, but the one that got them to the Western Conference Finals last season, with that being the 5-man combination of D'Lo, Reeves, Vanderbilt, LeBron, and Anthony Davis. And both Anthony Davis and Darvin Ham were asked about that following their game last night.
Lineup of you, LeBron, D'Lo, and Austin, Vando, the starting lineup from last playoff run. Played more tonight than you guys at any point this season. Is that something you want to see more of? Play more alongside?
That's on coach. That's on coach.
I like Taurean Prince, but I've always said that trying to make him fill a primary defender type of role would not work. And well, I think that's been proven to be true. He's definitely not a bad defender, but he should not be filling that kind of role on defense. And honestly, I can't imagine that he wants to be filling that kind of role either. We often tend to overlook how much energy that takes up, and the more energy you expend on defense, the less of it you have for offense, which definitely has taken a toll on his 3-point shooting. Don't get me wrong, the guy is still shooting 39% from 3, and I don't understand the people that are acting like he's not been a positive for them on offense. My only problem here is that it's incredibly difficult for him to do that while also trying to be a primary defender. In fact, I really don't think it's realistic at all. That's simply not a role he should be filling. I like what it does for their floor spacing on offense, but I don't think it's worth what they give up on defense, especially when matching up with a team like Golden State. Simply put, they have nobody that can keep up with a movement shooter like Steph Curry. Now, everybody in the entire league can obviously relate to that, but not quite to the level that their starting lineup was having. After all, that was how they got down by 15 points during the third quarter. But to absolutely no surprise at all, that immediately changed after Vanderbilt checked in. They quickly trimmed down the lead to 11 with only a minute, and even after Anthony Davis got hurt, they got within 1 point only 2 minutes later. It really comes down to 3 things here in my opinion. One of which being defensive versatility, which Vanderbilt obviously gives them plenty of, number 2 being more energy and effort, and then number 3 being better rebounding, all of which Vanderbilt makes a huge impact on. Again, he might negatively affect their offense compared to Prince, or at least over a 50-game sample anyways, but I don't think, nor did I ever think that was enough to go away from Vanderbilt in the first place. And in reality, he has actually been a positive for them on offense lately too. Now, I'm not sure we can expect him to maintain that, or at least not to this level anyways, but he clearly can find ways to benefit them on offense. It might not usually be with 3-point shooting, though he has gone 3 for 4 during their past 5 games now, but the one thing you can always rely on him to do is make great backdoor cuts. Unlike many other guys in their team, Vanderbilt will immediately cut after seeing LeBron or Anthony Davis draw a double team, and even when he does not score a point, let alone even get the ball off that off-ball cut, it does make the entire defense shift, often freeing up a guy like D'Lo or Reeves to get a wide open 3-point shot. You won't be able to find it in the stat sheet, but that really should count as assists for Vanderbilt, it takes energy and awareness to make good off-ball cuts. And while he definitely does do it to avoid having to take many three-point shots, I think it helps out their offense regardless. And then with Vanderbilt finishing at the rim a lot better lately, likely due to his heel injury finally getting better, that has made him a much more effective off-ball player. Vanderbilt is shooting a team-high 65.1% from the field over their past 8 games now. He might not be the most intimidating player at the rim, but he definitely can get off the ground quickly. And there is a night and day difference between Vanderbilt now compared to only a few weeks ago. And believe it or not, Vanderbilt is even 5th on their team in scoring throughout that 8-game time frame, averaging 9.5 points per game while grabbing nearly 2 offensive rebounds per game, another part of his game we tend to overlook. We often talk about either offense or defense, but then forget to factor in rebounding, and especially when it comes to building a team's starting lineup. Though if you really take the time to evaluate the lineups they've tried out so far, then you'll find out that rebounding has been one of their weaknesses. I mean, Anthony Davis might be carrying them, but he alone can only do so much. And with guys like D'Lo, Reeves, Prince, and even Cam Reddish being pretty bad rebounders, that has often put AD in a tough spot, and especially when they're also relying on him to be their last line of defense. But then when you insert Vanderbilt, you immediately put your second best rebounder on the court with him. Unlike many other guys in their team, he will actually box out on defense, and then they obviously benefit from his ability to keep plays alive on offense too. Again, do not expect him to maintain what he's doing right now on offense, but you definitely can rely on him to rebound, and then of course play defense too, which we have barely even talked about yet. I don't think it's a hot take to say that they would have lost that game last night without Vanderbilt. Even putting aside what he did for them on offense while rebounding, he made a huge impact on defense alone. And sure, I can point out the 4 steals they collected, but that would not even come close to telling the full story. If you know anything about Golden State, it's that they're going to be setting some pretty controversial screens on offense. And the only way to point them out is by not only trying to fight hard over them, but then to sell the contact after they move their feet. And that's what Vanderbilt does better than anybody on their entire team. Now, it can hurt them when the refs decide to ignore it, but he was able to draw a number of offensive fouls by doing that. And I really would not call it flopping either. If they're moving their feet while quote-unquote screening, then there's really nothing else you can do. So I for one am all for playing that way on defense. Again, it can be a bit risky, much like when Vanderbilt tried to draw a foul on that double overtime game-tying 3-point shot that Curry hit, but we cannot overlook what he did leading up to that point. And then he obviously played great individual defense apart from that too. I could talk plenty about their entire team here, but I think we need to show some more love to Vanderbilt. Many people obviously forgot about the impact that a healthy Jared Vanderbilt can make. I think Darvin Ham was definitely one of them, but there were plenty of quote-unquote Laker fans on Twitter that forgot too. But what do you guys think? How do you feel about what Jared Vanderbilt has brought to their team lately? And do you think they should be reinserted within their starting lineup, or is simply getting more playing time off the bench enough? Comment your thoughts down below. That will do it for this video though. Big thank you to those of you who took the time to watch until the end of this video, and until the end of all of my videos in general. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day.